Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome for the first time. My name is Heather. I'm so excited that you're here. Today we are talking about the energy forecast for the month of June 2025, and there's a couple of ways that I present this information. One is to share a channeling from my team of guides, and we'll get to that in just a minute. I also share a channeled art piece that I create, and we have a little bit of a discussion around the theme. So the theme for June 2025 is metamorphosis. And when I first received that from my team of guides, I thought, well, that's really kind of obvious. We're all going through a metamorphosis. We're all going through a change, and we have been for a while. So it felt a little cliche. But the way that I'm feeling into that energy and the way the team was showing me is it's a really substantial change. So I'm going to let them talk about it in the channeling, and I'll be back in a few minutes to walk us through a little bit more and share the art as well as some other things with you. So enjoy the channeling, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello, bright and beautiful beings. We would speak to you today regarding the energy for the upcoming month in your time and space, that being June 2025 in your year. Many of you have been on a path and on a journey of transformation and change, and so this theme may seem very familiar to you. The theme is metamorphosis, which we would classify as deep change. And we see this change occurring not only at the personal level in new ways this month, but also at the collective level in new and expanded ways. Many of you will feel a rocky start to the month. Many of you will feel unsettled as you go through the month. And we would like you to consider this is a sign of your evolution. This is a sign of you being at the next level of you and now meeting circumstances as that new version of you. So you are in some ways untested, untried, new. As you face what may seem like new scenarios, it may seem like old scenarios, but you are facing them with the new eyes of your evolution. And if you imagine how that may feel on the personal level, can you then expand your awareness to how that may feel at the collective level? When we consider that there are many who are on the path of development, ascension, evolution, revolution. And collectively as a whole, although they are in different spaces and different phases of that overall evolution, all are coming in some ways full circle. If you can imagine a ballerina pivoting, twirling, and having the focal point that he or she looks at to keep their balance, that is what is needed for you as you go through the month of June. But if you consider this at the collective level, there are so many beings sharing a morphic resonance, sharing an energetic soup, if you will, a field of frequency. And many are at this collective field or feeling their awareness of it in new ways. And so with that new awareness, with those new filters, with those new perceptions, this collective group is now seeing the world, seeing what is going on in their community, seeing what is going on at large. And with the new filters, the new perspectives, the new way of seeing from this new frequency, things will look very different. Things will feel very different. And they may feel, as a result, shaky. They may not feel familiar to you anymore. And we do not want you to fear this. We want you to view this as a sign of the necessary growth, the necessary change that many of you have been aware of for many months, many years. Much is being developed throughout the month of June. We would give you another image to consider as a metaphor for this, and it would be of tilling the soil in your garden. It is a very chaotic process. It is taking what is buried beneath and bringing it up and turning it and twisting it and removing the weeds so that new life can flourish, so that growth can occur. June is a period of time when many of you will be doing this on the personal level for yourselves. Shadows that you thought were no longer there will come up for you to view. And they come up almost as you would see in one of your dating apps. It is for you to swipe left or right. Do I acknowledge that I have healed this, or do I let it continue to bother me? And the choice is yours. There is no wrong or right in that. There may be things within you that are unresolved. But this is an opportunity for you to revisit those and to deepen your healing and to deepen your inner standing of those. And then imagine, again, expanding this out into the collective. We will see many themes as we go through June of things that may look disturbing, things that may look like we as a group, as a whole, as a civilization have healed this. We have moved past this. We should be better than this. But it is being shown to you again to test you. Not in a bad way, but to test you, to show you how far you have come, to show you your growth, and to show you where there may still be room for improvement. There may still be recalibration that is necessary. Many of you will be facing these new filters and these new perspectives within the landscape of your intuition, as there are many energies coming into the planet at this time that feel as though they are elevating, feel as though they are co-creating, feel as though they are expanding with you. And they may be and they may not be. They are all, however, opportunities for you to test your intuition. Does this feel aligned for me? Does this feel true for me? Does this feel right? And if there is any hesitance there, perhaps it is not. So it is a barometer for you to work with yourself. Consider the energy of the butterfly. Not just the metamorphosis process, which will be spoken to later in this video, but we would like you now to imagine the wings of a butterfly. They are so very delicate, yet they are so strong, and they carry this beautiful being through all sorts of landscapes, through wind, through things that feel so tumultuous and chaotic, and yet it is such a beautiful, elegant flight. What are your wings? What is it that elevates you? What is it that allows you to rise above, to surf on the currents of energy? And if you do not know what that is, this is a time we would invite you to consider. What is it that elevates you? What within you can you extend out beyond the core of your body and expand out into the world, both to offer and to receive with others? We thank you for your time in receiving this transmission. Be blessed, dearest friends. So as we continue to explore the theme of metamorphosis, I want to dissect the word first, because I don't know that I had the awareness or really the presence of mind to think about what that word meant other than change, and to probably picture, as you may be as well, the butterfly, which we'll talk about that in a minute, because I do think it's an important metaphor for us when we're considering the type of change that's coming up. Meta means beyond, morph means form. Moving beyond our form, moving out of what we are into what we are becoming. And when we look at that at a personal level, it's more than just, yeah, I'm up leveling, I'm at my next level, I'm changing, I'm growing. It feels really transformational. And that's the energy that I'm picking up on for June. And that's what I'm hearing from a lot of you in conversations in my private appointments. There are these new circumstances like the team talked about. There are new things that you're encountering, but you're encountering them in a way where they feel new because what you are, who you are, is this new level of you. So it feels a little imbalanced, and it feels uncertain, and it feels unsteady, and it might even feel frightening and scary. But that's evidence of the fact that often you are at this new level, and so you're meeting all these old circumstances. The image the team is sharing with me now is if you know baseball, It's like you changed out your bat and you're still gonna swing at the same pitches, but you have a whole different tool that you're using. So as we grow and up level and develop, we get different skills, we get different frequencies, we get different ways of being in the world. And so when we are then facing things that may have seemed really easy for us or nothing that really got under our skin before, when we're at this new level, it doesn't mean we transcend the fact that nothing, I'm unbothered by everything because I'm so spiritually elevated or whatever. That's not it. You meet all those other aspects, those different aspects of you, those different reflections from this new perspective. And so they all look new. And it's an invitation, like the team talked about, for you to look at that. Am I still triggered by that? Am I healed? What within me is bringing that to me? Where's that reflection? Where's that frequency within me? And then, oh, okay, I'm pretty good with it. I see what it is. I understand it. It doesn't mean you have to be tripped up by it. As I was preparing to talk to you today, one of the images that I had for all of this, and I don't know how many people will track this image with me, but I'm going to share it anyway. If you know the movie Grease, at the very end when they're at the carnival, they're going through all these different aspects of the carnival, and there's this one thing, I think it's called the Shake Shack, but it's where the flooring is really uneven and they're walking back and forth and they really have to adjust their balance. And for me, that's a great image, because just like when you are doing dance or sports and it's the core, your core muscles that help you keep your balance, in your spiritual journey, in our evolution in that regard, it's our core that helps us keep our balance. It's our authenticity. More than that, it's being present in our authenticity. So that present moment becomes incredibly important as we're going through metamorphosis, because that's where everything coalesces. That's the truth of who we are. That's us in the present moment, not the past, who we used to be, not the future, who we're going to, but the right now, right here, right now, present moment. That is where the transformation happens. That's where the power is. That's where we get our balance. So if you think of the path, the life cycle, I guess, of a butterfly, and I'm going to show a little video here. I have raised monarch butterflies before as part of a release and repopulation program. So got to witness this in person many, many times, and it never fails to amaze me when I see it. But there are basically three phases. There's the phase where the caterpillar eats everything in sight, and it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. And we can think of that as the part on our journey where we're exploring all of the topics. Give me all of the books. I was just talking to somebody today. How many of you are guilty of buying books or downloading books and you don't even read them? Because you don't have the time, because there's 20 more that came before that one that you haven't gotten to yet. I do that all the time. But we're in that process of just soaking in everything that we can, because it's our growth. We're feeding that internal self. We're feeding that authentic soul. We're starting to cultivate that radiant light that we have. We can think of that as the first step before dissolution, which is also part of that first phase. So the dissolution, I know many of you have heard this. It really does happen this way. It's so cool to witness. The caterpillar dissolves into goo. So the parts that were caterpillar parts, little caterpillar legs, chunky little caterpillar body, caterpillar head, none of that exists anymore. It goes into goop inside its chrysalis. And it is this sacred in-between stage. That's the second phase. But in the dissolution phase, which is we consume everything, we get all this knowledge, we plan, we feel the call to be something else. We feel the call to change. And then we start to dissolve. We start to no longer resonate with that old identity. Maybe we're moving away from, geographically we're moving. Maybe we're moving away from things we've known, things that have resonated with us. It just doesn't feel like your thing anymore. That's you starting to pull into that chrysalis, which is the very sacred time. And I feel that for June, many of us are in the later stages of the chrysalis. So the chrysalis is the sacred in between. It's when the caterpillar is goop. It's when we are no longer what we were, but we are not what we will be yet. We're in the middle. And caterpillars have these things called imaginal cells, where everything that they're going to become in the butterfly is within them when they're the caterpillar. But they have to go through this radical change in order to activate those cells. So that's us. We're in this radical change. We're in the goop phase right now. And it's this fertile space, like the team was talking about with the tilling of the garden soil. We're pulling up all that fertile ground. It's almost a womb space as well of what's being birthed. And then there's the third phase, which is the emergence. And it's not a pretty process. It's very dramatic. And even after a butterfly comes out of its chrysalis, it has to dangle and hang and let blood flow to its wings. It doesn't just happen overnight. And I think that's where a lot of us, we're in that phase. We're coming out of the chrysalis, but we don't have the wings yet. So we no longer feel like the caterpillar. We're no longer in the goop. We did all that hard work, but we aren't taking flight yet. We're still kind of in this timeout almost of when can I go? When is it coming? When can I spread my wings? And that happens when it happens. It happens when the wings are strong enough, when you've rested enough, when you've sat in the sacred stillness of yourself enough, and you fully know who you are and who you're becoming and what you embodied in that process of transfiguration and metamorphosis. So I want to pause here before I forget. This month I've done something a little bit different. I created, because this feels like such a powerful theme to work with, I created a 30-day journal prompt affirmation workbook thing for integration. And if you're on my newsletter list, you will get that, depending on when you're watching this video. You either already got it in your inbox or you'll get it shortly after seeing this. If you're not yet on my newsletter list, that's the way to get this workbook. And you can do that. I'll put a link in the description box below. You sign up, you confirm your email address, you get an email with a link to download this workbook, which you can use digitally or you can download it and print it. It's yours to take. And it's just going through step by step every day. It breaks out those 3 processes that we talked about, those 3 stages of metamorphosis, and gives you a great reflection question for integration. And that's not to say, here's my disclaimer, the change isn't going to happen in 30 days. So it may also be helpful to keep this on hand as a workbook when you are going through changes, to come back and say, what phase do I think I'm in? Where are those questions? What's that reflection? Where can I integrate and embody more? And let me go through this process again. So it's presented as a 30-day workbook, but that doesn't mean we're going to be like, woo, hit the ground running at the end of those 30 days. That's just the structure and the blueprint that we have to work through it. So that's available for you. I really wanted to give an extra level of support for anybody who feels like they need it, because this energy just felt clunky in a way, but almost like this mold of clay that's just waiting to be shaped. But it's a little heavy, it's a little dense, and we got to really work with it to get that shape, to get to that next step for ourselves. So I want to share this as well as I'm pulling up the art here for us to look at together, because this is one of those pieces that came in really quickly. It was very detailed to work with, but sometimes they take a few days to unpack and for me to play around with and really get all of the nuances. This one came right in a really powerful way, and I felt the energy of it very profoundly as I was channeling it and creating the piece. So I sent it to a good friend of mine just to see if she had a similar reaction, and I'm going to share that text message here because she had a very visceral, full body almost reaction to it. So I'm almost saying that as not a warning, but I'm so curious to see if you feel into it as well as we're looking at it here together. And just let me know in the comments what you think of this art. So really beautiful colors. Obviously there's some shapes of butterflies and a few different iterations of, I think, wings and infinity symbols. If you zoom in a lot, if you download this digital piece and you zoom in, there's some light language in here as well. What I like is at the top and at the bottom, there are the more greens and golds. And to me, that looks like the sacred garden that the team was talking about. It's that blooming, that blossoming after you till the soil. There's a lot of crystalline energy in here as well. The rainbow light body really feels like it's getting activated. It also feels like it's getting squeezed and compressed before it expands. So always love hearing what you all think. Leave me a comment below what you think about this art. If you would like to download a digital copy, you can do that for free through the month of June. And I'll leave a link below. You'll see it on the screen here as well. This is also available as a fine art print on paper, canvas, or metal. And I'll leave that link below too if you'd like to grab that. I feel like this is a good one to have on display as a reminder, because it's not like, and you all know this, it's not like we go through metamorphosis and change once and we're done. Wouldn't that be nice? We could just get it over with, like you get certified, like get a little certificate, get something signed from some official that says, yes, you've done your metamorphosis, you're good to go, enjoy your life. That's not how it works. We're gonna go through this again. It's just that this one for June feels really very palpable. So a couple other things I wanna talk about while we're together with this. If you haven't already enrolled for my Gathering with the Guides class that starts in June, please, I don't want you to miss this. This is such a powerful energy that's coming together for this class. We're gonna spend 4 weeks together every Saturday, 4 Saturdays. We're gonna learn tools and techniques and methods to connect with spirit guides, and that could be angelic beings, multidimensional beings, ex-humans, I like to call them, beings in spirit. However you classify them, whoever's on your team, we're gonna learn to connect with them, and then we're gonna work together as a group, as the whole class, with energy templates. So I'm gonna leave a link for that in the box. Also below, check it out. Enrollment closes on June 6th. I don't know when I'll offer this again, if I do. So if this feels like the right fit for you, please come join us. I'd love to see you and support you as you're working on your connection. So that's all I have for this month's forecast. Let me know what's going on in your world. What are you seeing out there? Are you feeling this cusp of transformation that it feels like we're all really working through this month? Maybe you're having a smooth sailing kind of month and it's easy peasy stuff because you've already gone through those really powerful changes. And now you can look back and say, yeah, I just went through that and I'm over here. I think we're always uniquely, individually at different points on that transformational journey. But for the collective, for most of us, it's gonna be a buckle up kind of a month when we're working through some stuff on our development. So take care of yourself, nurture, download the workbook, get on my newsletter list, download the workbook if you feel that would be helpful for you. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Take care. I'll see you soon.